Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manjari Gopi Mataji, for very blissful kirtan, and Jagannath Gopal Prabhu for darshan. So we'll get started with reading part. Okay. Yeah. So anyone who want to read, please raise hands. Yes, please, Mataji. Manjari
Shukdev
Gopi.
Goswami said, after hearing from the great sage Maitreya about the Lord's incarnation as Varaha, Vidura, who had taken a vow, begged him with folded hands to please narrate further transcendental activities of the Lord, since he, Vidura, did not yet feel satisfied. Sri Vidura said, O chief amongst the great sages, I have heard by disciplic succession that Hiranyaksh, the original demon, was slain by the same form of sacrifices the personality of Godhead, Lord, bore. What was the reason, O Brahmana, for the fight between the demon king and Lord Boar, while the Lord was lifting the earth as his pastime? My mind has become very inquisitive, and therefore I am not satisfied with hearing the narration of the Lord's appearance. Please, therefore, speak more and more to a devotee who is faithful. Great sage Maitreya said, O warrior, the inquiry made by you is just befitting a devotee because it concerns the incarnation of the personality of Godhead. He is the source of liberation from the chain of birth and death for all those who are otherwise destined to die. By hearing these topics from the sage Narada, the son of King Uttanpad, Dhruv was enlightened regarding the personality of Godhead as he ascended to the abode of the Lord, placing his feet over the head of death. This history of the fight between the Lord Boar as the history of the fight between the Lord as a boar and a demon Hiranyaksh was heard by me in a year long ago, as it was described by the foremost of the demigods, Brahma, when he was questioned by the other demigods. Diti, daughter of Daksh, being afflicted with sex desire, begged her husband Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, to have intercourse with her in the evening in order to beget a child. The sun was setting, and the sage was sitting in trance after offering oblations to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, whose tongue is the sacrificial fire. In that place, the beautiful Diti expressed her desire. O learned one, Cupid is taking his arrows and distressing me forcibly, as a mad elephant troubles a banana tree. Therefore, you should be kind towards me by showing me complete mercy. I desire to have sons, and I am much distressed by seeing the opulence of my co wives. By performing this act, you will become happy. A woman is honored in the world by the benediction of her husband, and a husband like you will become famous by having children because you are meant for the expansion of living entities. In days long ago, our father, the most opulent Daksh, who was affectionate to his daughters, asked each of us separately whom we would prefer to select as our husband. Our well wisher father, Daksh, after knowing our intentions, handed over 13 of his daughters unto you, and since then we have all been faithful. O lotus eyed one, kindly bless me by fulfilling my desire. When someone in distress approaches a great person, His pleas should never go in vain. O hero, Vidura, Diti being thus afflicted by the contamination of lust and therefore poor and talkative, was pacified by the son of Marichi in suitable words. O afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you. For who else but you is the source of the three perfections of liberation? As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife. O respectful one, a wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body because of her sharing in all auspicious activities. A man can move without anxiety, entrusting all responsibilities to his wife. As a fort commander, very easily conquers invading plunderers by taking shelter of a wife, one can conquer the senses, which are unconquerable in the other social orders. O Queen of the home, we are not able to act like you, nor could we repay you for what you have done, even if we worked for our entire life or even after death. To repay you is not possible, even for those who are admirers of personal qualities. Even though it is not possible to repay you, I shall satisfy your sex desire immediately for the sake of begetting children. But you must wait for only a few seconds so that others may not reproach me. This particular time is most inauspicious because at this time the horrible looking ghosts and constant companions of the Lord of the ghosts are visible. Lord Shiva, the king of the ghosts, sitting on the back of his bull carrier, travels at this time accompanied by ghosts who follow him for their welfare. Lord Shiva's body is reddish and he is unstained, but he is covered with ashes. His hair is dusty from the whirlwind dust of the burning crematorium. He is the younger brother of your husband, and he sees with his three eyes.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, now we can go with the next reader. Kameshwar Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Shiva regards no one as his relative, yet there is no one who is not connected with him. He does not regard anyone as very favorable or abominable. We respectfully worship the remnants of his foodstuff, and we vow to accept what is rejected by him. Although no one in the material world is equal to or greater than Lord Shiva, and although his unimpeachable character is followed by great souls to dismantle the mass of nations, he nevertheless remains as if a devil is to give a devil to give salvation to all devotees of the Lord. Unfortunate, foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. Such foolish persons engage in maintaining the body which is eatable by dogs with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments. Demigods like Brahma also follow the religious rites observed by him. He is the controller of the material energy which causes the creation of the material world. He is great and therefore his devilish characters are simply imitation. Maitreya said, Diti was thus informed by her husband, but she was pressed by Cupid for sexual satisfaction. She caught hold of the clothing of the great Brahmana, says, just like a shameless public prostitute. Understanding his wife's purpose, he was obliged to perform the forbidden act, and thus, after offering his obeisances unto worshipable fate, he lay with her in a secluded place. Thereafter, the Brahmana who took his bath in the water and controlled his speech by practicing trance, meditating on the eternal effulgence, and chanting the holy Gayatri hymns within his mouth. O son of the Bharata family, Diti, after this, went nearer to her husband, her face lowered because of her faulty action. She spoke as follows. The beautiful Diti said, my dear Brahmana, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him. Let me offer my obeisances on to the angry Lord Shiva, who is simultaneously the very ferocious great demigod and the fulfiller of all material desires. He is all auspicious and forgiving, but his anger can immediately move him to chastise. Let him be pleased with us, since he is my brother in law, the husband of my sister Sati. He is also the worshipable Lord of all women. He is the personality of all opulences and can show mercy towards women who are excused even by the uncivilized hunters. Maitreya said, the great sage Kashyapa thus addressed his wife, who was trembling because of fear that her husband was offended. She understood that he, he had been dissuaded from his daily duties of offering evening prayers, yet she desired the welfare of her children in the world. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your minds being polluted, because of uh, defilement of the particular time, because of your negligence of my directions, and because of your being apathetic to the demigods, everything was inauspicious. O, o haughty one, you have to contempt your sons born of your condemned womb. Unlucky women, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds. They'll kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and enrage the great souls. At that time, the Lord of the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the well wisher of all living entities, will descend and kill them, just as Indra smashes the mountains with his thunderbolts. Diti said, it is very good that my son will be magnanimously killed by the arms of the personality of Godhead with his Sudarsana weapons. O my husband, may they never be killed by the wrath of Brahmana devotee, devotees. A person who is condemned by a Brahmana or is always fearful to other living entities is not of favored either by those who are already in hell or by those in the species in which he is born. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your lamentation, penitence, and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and your adoration for Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons, Prahlada, of your son Hiranyakasipu, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the Personality of Godhead. In order to follow in his footsteps, saintly persons will try to emulate his character by freedom from animosity, just as the purifying processes rectify gold of inferior quality. Everyone will be pleased with him because the personality of Godhead, the supreme controller of the universe, is always satisfied with a devotee who does not wish for anything beyond him. The topmost devotee of the Lord will have expanded intelligence and expand influence and will be the greatest of the great souls. Due to mature devotional service, he will certainly be situated in transcendental ecstasy and will enter the spiritual sky after quitting this material world. He will be a virtuously qualified reservoir of all good qualities. He will be jolly and happy in others' happiness, distressed in others' distress, and will have no enemies. He will be a destroyer of the lamentation of all the universes, like the pleasant moon after the summer sun. Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. The sage Maitreya said, hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her sons would be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Kameshwar Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, the previous chapter was glorious pastime of Lord Varahadev and how Hiranyaksha killed. We had really nice discussion. So many important points were discussed in last class. Now, this is like these chapters as like Guhya Varta between Maitreya and Vidura, both Mahabhagavatas. And as Vidura is hearing more and more, his thirst, his desire to know more about the glorious pastimes of the Lord is increasing. And then he asks, Shukdev Goswami is narrating this discussion between Maitreya Muni and Vidura, and who had incarnation as Varaha. Shukdev Goswami said, after hearing from the great sage Maitreya about the Lord's incarnation as Varaha, Vidura, who had taken a vow, begged him with folded hands to please narrate further transcendental. He wanted to hear more because he didn't feel satisfied. Uh, it's said that that famous verse from Sri Ramcharitmanas. पुनि पुनि कितने हो कहे वो सुनाए हिय की प्यास बुझत ना बुझाए like you more hear the Krishna katha, you more want to hear it. More you hear, the more your heart will be clean and more the desire to hear Krishna katha will increase. There comes the verse in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishta karnarandhrena swanam bhava saroruham दुनोते शमलं कृष्ण सलिलस्य यथा शरत्. Pravishta Karnarandrena, as this Krishna Katha enters our ears, Pravishta Karnarandrena, through the holes of our ears, Swanam Bhava Saroruham. It fills with joy, Bhav. It awards us bhakti. Swanam Bhava Saroruham. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. And then it cleanses, like when the small ponds are muddy, when there is no water in it, when there is dry season, then those small ponds are muddy. But when dhunoti shamalam krishna salilasya yatha sharat, but when the sharat rutu comes, the sharat season, the rainy season, then these ponds get filled with clean water. And now the pond looks beautiful and very clean. Salilasya yatha sharat. Similarly, by hearing Krishna Katha, the abhadra, the anarthas in heart, gets clean like the small ponds get cleans of its dirt as more and more water, pure rainwater enters into it. More water, more it gets pure. Similarly, more Krishna Katha we hear, we discuss, more our heart naturally desires to hear Krishna Katha. There is very famous quote of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says like, you want to be hero, like you want to be great person, then please hear Krishna Katha, Vaikuntha Katha. That will make you great. This is like very simple formula to become great. So Vidura and Maitreya Muni is showing us here that by example. So Varaha, in the previous chapter, he narrated past time how Lord Varaha appeared and how he killed uh, the Hiranyaksha. And then the next verse discusses about like the Lord. There have been two appearances of Lord Varaha in two Manvantaras. One Lord Varaha was white in color, who pulled out the Mother Earth from Garbhodaka ocean, and then second one was in reddish in color, who killed Hiranyaksha. So he asked, okay, I have heard about the uh, Lord Varaha's pastime. Now I want to know how Lord Varaha end up in this Hiranyaksha and how this demon appeared and all. So what was the reason of Brahmana for fighting between the king and the Lord Boar while Lord was lifting the earth as his pastime? And he wanted to hear this narration further. Uh, and then, yeah, Maitreya Muni appreciates him that inquiry made by you befitting a devotee because it is concerned the incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this verse, in the fifth verse, let me just get the verse verse text right here. So yeah, in the fifth verse, he calls him as Sadhu and Veera. So Srila Prabhupada narrates in the purport that Veera, because he wanted to hear the Veer Katha, like the Veera Ras Katha of Lord. That's why he's calling him Veera. Like those who are interested in Krishna Katha, and those who take interest in Krishna Katha, they are also Veera. They are warriors because they are they are warriors against they are warrior against Maya. So so yeah, so he's called Veera. And uh, and he also says that like the similar was King Uttanpada was in the son of King Utta. Dhruva Maharaj was also enlightened with similar katha, and he became so great that he with his sadeha, like with his own body, like he didn't left his body on. It was so purified, his body became Sachidan, and then he ascended to Vaikuntha. Sadeha. So he mentions Dhruva Maharaj, and then he describes like where he heard this katha from Lord Brahma long time ago when like other devatas asked him about this pastime. And then starts uh, the just one moment, just one moment. Sorry everyone. Yeah, really sorry, everyone. So, yeah, so this, yeah, and then he starts describing the circumstances which led to the birth of this Hiranyakashipu, and then which led to the appearance of Lord Varaha. So, Ditir Dakshayani, Shattar Maricha Kashyapam Patim. Diti is daughter of uh, Daksha Prajapati. Dakshayani means daughter of Daksha Prajapati. Sati, first wife of Lord Shiva, she was also Dakshayani. She was also daughter of Daksha Prajapati and younger sister of Diti. And 13 others, like, so these were like 12, total 13 daughters of Daksha Prajapati were married to Kashyap Muni. Kashyap is also one of the Prajapatis. Prajapatis are basically those great entities who came from like Lord Brahma. So Kashyap came, Lord Kashyap is son of Lord Marichi. Marichi is like born from Brahma. So he have responsibility of expanding jivas in this universe. That's why Kashyapa is his father of Anantashesh, Vasuki, Garuda. So many he gave birth to different through different wives. He gave birth to different species, and he is also father Kashyap and Aditi. Aditi is another wife. So they are they parented Lord Vaman Dev. And now this pastime is between Diti and Kashyapa, who is one of his wives. So Kashyapam Patim Apatya Kama Chakame Sandhyayam Richa Yardita. So this suddenly one day this Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, got afflicted with strong sex desire and begged, and then she begged her for the to her husband Kashyapa for the intercourse, for the intimacy, in order to get beget a child. So yeah, this I mean this chapter, yeah, it in a way it is like little mature level discussion, um, but it is very relevant to us, like who are actually leading this like grihastha life and part of these things. So there is so much learning as part of this chapter, and uh, I will be sharing few things related to Garbhadhana and then sexual life between husband and wife based on Shastra, based on what I have gathered through different lectures or some books. So, but again, this is like when we talk about these things, this is this we are talking about the best situation, best scenario, and if we are not following that, I mean, we should strive to follow these things. We should try to understand tattva, and we should try to follow these things. And but there is time, place, and circumstances. Uh, it is very individual. It is very individual. That's why shastras are there. Like shastras are there to sharpen our intellect, to sharpen our viveka. जीवेर माया मुग्ध जीवे नाही स्वतः कृष्ण ज्ञान जीवेर कृपाय केलं कृष्ण वेद पुराण. Krishna manifested this Ved and Shastra so that we can read them, listen them, and understand, and then we can apply those things to our very unique situation. No one can tell you like you gotta do this and that when it comes to husband and wife. But when you have knowledge of Shastra and know the best way in the best ways in which you can act under certain circumstances, then it's very pleasing to the Lord. When one tries to follow Shastra, that pleases Krishna. It may not be possible to follow Shastra completely. Maybe very rare people can do that. But if we try with best of our abilities, that is very pleasing to the Lord. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. So we'll be discussing these things, and this is the way we will try to understand it, that we need to know the tattva and the principles behind these things, and we will, I mean, as we grow in our bhakti, as we grow in our spiritual life, we will be able to implement those things in right way. So Dakshayani Diti was afflicted with sex desire, and the sun was setting. The Sandhya Kal is specially considered inauspicious for any of these kind of things. Like if you want to do something auspicious, Sandhya is not considered very good time, because it is the time of Lord Shiva wandering in the horizon along with his ganas, which are Bhoot, Pret, Pishachas. And this is very true thing. So all the shastras, all the sampradayas, everyone recommends engaging in some spiritual activity like chanting, doing Sandhya Vandan, Gayatri, reading Katha, like a spiritual activity directed towards Krishna. Because Krishna Bhakti is beyond all this, right? It is beyond all auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. So you engage in the worship of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you do not engage yourself in other karma kanda uh, or this kind of activity, right? Especially this sexual activities. So, and yeah, the previous verse mentions that she begged her husband uh, for the intimacy, but with the desire to beget a child, right? Even though she was sexually afflicted, but the desire was, she also expressed the desire to beget a child. There was no question of uh, contraception or any other media like that, directly or indirectly. So, uh, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. The sex life which is not against dharma, adharma viruddha, which is not against dharma, that is Krishna himself. That act is pure yajna, and that is like Krishna himself. It is auspicious like Krishna himself. So she expressed the desire of intimacy, and she also expressed that she wants a child as a result of this act. Uh, and then at that time, the sage was sitting there and he was offering oblations into the fire because he was doing his Sandhya Vandan. Uh, and yes, he explained the state of her mind, that how she is being attacked by these arrows of Cupid, and she's really distressed, like a mad elephant troubles a banana tree. Sex desire is this sex desire is called Maithunyagar. See, these Diti and Kashyap are not ordinary people. They are like the greatest, one of the greatest souls who have existed in this universe. And they also go through this because this material world, Krishna is, Srimad Bhagavatam is, uh, as in the first canto, we see that the Narad Muni chastises Vyasdev, saying, Jugupsitam dharma kritenu shasataha. In the name of dharma, you have written so many, you have manifested so many Vedas, Puranas, and Vedangas that, but all of them, I mean, they give solution to the material problems of life, like getting wealth, getting health. If you follow Shastra, you can really solve your problems in even in material world. But solving material world problems in material world is like giving rise to the even more problems, even bigger problems, because this existence itself is a problem. This existence in material world itself is a big anartha. And whatever you try to clean that thing, uh, it again gives rise to more problems. Samsmriti Mula Sula Pradhanana Sakala Soka Dayaka Abhimana. That abhiman of being separate from the Lord makes us uh, makes us born in this material world, and then as a result of that abhimana, kama and krodha arises. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyena iha vairinam. And then the vidya means that we are part and parcel of Krishna and our duty is to engage in his service. We forget that naturally, and what happens is uh, we in a rajasic, tamasic, and sattvic, the mix of these three gunas, one engages in achieving things in this material world. And then as a result of that, one gets trapped in kama. Kama is in gross form is lusty desire, in subtle form it is desire for fame, desire for appreciation, and so many other things. And then krodha. And then when you don't get something you want, there is krodha. That also occurs in different spectrums. So in this all of this mix, one gets trapped in this material world. So through these great souls, this pastime is being explained, that how uh, even the Diti, who was with Kashyapa, who is like the Prajapati, and she is daughter of Daksha Prajapati, elder sister of Sati Mata, who is Durga himself, but still got trapped in this desire, lusty desire, and then that also immediate desire. See that this, so as we will see in the further verses, um, that we'll see that in further verses, but she wanted to do it immediately because she felt really miserable and really attacked by this lusty desire. So she is asking that you be kind towards me, and I desire to have sons. My other co-wives have sons and I don't have, so I feel distressed because of that. That was her argument. And then she tells him that a woman is honored in the world by benediction of her husband, and husband like you will become famous by having children, right? uh, yeah, this Prabhupada explains this further in this purport, that like for a chaste wife, this the getting a child is like a benediction from her husband, and then you will become famous by having children, and because that's the duty of the Kashyapa. He's a Prajapati, so he's expanding the living entities, the more he's fulfilling the desire of Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. So that's how she tries to convince him to engage in the act immediately. um, yeah, she tells him that, yeah, we were 13, Daksha Prajapati asked us like whom you want to marry, and then he understood that okay, my daughters like Kashyapa Muni, and then he gave all his 13 daughters to Kashyap Muni, Kashyap Rishi. So yeah, and then she again glorifies him that you are great, and if someone is in need is approaching you, you should fulfill their desire. Yeah, so she got afflicted by contamination of lust, and therefore poor and talkative, was pacified by son of Marichi in suitable words. So again, now we will see how how Kashyap Muni deals with this desire of Diti. Uh, this that he explains to her that he first he first speaks about he first speaks about how important is the wife in a man's life, and how I should satisfy your desire, because it's completely as per dharma. You are She is his Sahadharmacharini, right? This is the word used for wife, Sahadharmacharini. She is his better half. She is his wife. So if she wants this desire to be satisfied, he should be doing that. And then he explains that I shall for gratify desires is dear to you, for who else but you is a source of three perfections of liberation. And as one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife. Patni, the word patni means one who protects you from fall down. Patan. So patni means one who prevents from patan. So wife is like a fortress who prevents a husband who is on the righteous path, who is desiring to achieve the Krishna consciousness, and she protects him from the onslaughts of material desires, because the senses are wild, and wife helps in fulfilling his material desires, as well as she helps him in fulfilling his spiritual duties. So uh, there are some verses that I wanted to share. Mm, is content only. Okay. Yeah. So my screen is visible, right? Can
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So this verse comes in अर्धम भार्या मनुष्यस्य भार्या श्रेष्ठा तमः सखा भार्या मूलम त्रिवर्गस्य भार्या मूल तरिष्यति. Wife is like a half body of man. That's why she is called Ardhangini. And wife is his best friend. She is also his best friend because she is there for him in all of his endeavors, spiritual as well as material. And wife is root of Artha and Kama. She is he will Artha and Kama, right? These are the things which will situate you in this material world, Artha and Kama. So she is root of that, and she is Bharya Moolam Trivargasya. So Dharma, Artha, and Kama and Moksha, right? So Trivarga means Dharma, Artha, and Kama. So wife is Mool of Dharma, Artha, and Kama. So she helps a man in these things so that he can eventually rise to the stage of moksha. Dharma, like wife is so in the since the Vedic times, when the Rishi Munis used to perform the Vedic sacrifices, the yajna, the fire will be started by Brahmani, or the wife of the chief priest, or wife of the chief Rishi who is leading the yajna. That was the rule. And so that honor is only given to grihastha brahmanas of doing the yajna sacrifice. When there is apat kal, when there is like no qualified grihastha brahmana or grihastha rishi is available, then only it was allowed for vairagis to do this yajnas, especially fire sacrifices. So that is the importance of wife, of equal importance, and and the great blessing for a man who want to cross over the material world. Bharya Mula Tarishyati, right? And she's the mool. Like the if the man manages to uh, purify himself and achieve the stage of moksha, pure devotion, wife is also at the mool of that. So in that way, the wife is glorified. So he goes on glorifying the greatness of a wife, like how important she is. A man can move without anxiety, entrusting all the responsibilities to the wife because she takes care of. She has wife as natural stree. Stree means that like one who expands this your griha, kids, wealth. So she's naturally the caretaker of these things. She's naturally blessed by Lord to be motherly, to be caring towards her husband and her children. And that's why there is natural system of marriage between man and woman. So that's why she's also called better half. That's what he explains. And then, yeah, a fort commander very easily conquers invading plunderers, right? If a fort commander is strong and some plunderers enter into the fort, then he can easily conquer them. Similarly, if you have a wife, then you can easily take care of your needs, and then you can be stable in your spiritual life and grow steadily in Krishna consciousness. By taking shelter of a wife, one can conquer the senses. She is there to conquer the senses. She's there to help you conquer the senses, regulate your desires. So that way, and then he calls him, "O Queen of Home, Queen of Home, Gruheshwari." He calls him like the Queen of Home. We are not able to act like you, nor could you repay for what you have done. Like there is no repayment. Most of the services or most of the roles played by wife are very selfless. She's just doing it as her dharma. And when someone is selfless, uh, doing whatever duty is awarded to you, tatyanu kampa sushamikshama bunyana evam, whatever situation you are placed in, and when you act in that situation, accepting that as your prarabdha and keep continuing remembering Krishna, it very much pleases the Lord. So because of our selfless services, no one can repay you for what you have done, even if we worked for entire life or even after death. To repay you is not possible even for those who are admirers of personal qualities. So during as bhautik as well as on paramarthik level, the situation of wife is glorified in all ways. And then even though it is not possible to repay you, I shall satisfy your sex desires for the sake of begetting children. Whenever they are mentioning about sex, there is desire for getting children also. It was never a question of just enjoying sex independently and irresponsibly, right? There is this verse. uh, this is very, again, yeah, I had my resource in Hindi, that's why it's Hindi, but I'll try to translate it to my best of my ability. But this is very famous verse. Bhoga na bhukta vayameva bhukta. I am not the one who enjoyed my senses, but I got enjoyed and emaciated. Bhoga na bhukta. I didn't enjoy the enjoyments, but vayameva I got enjoyed. I got enjoyed and emaciated. Tapona taptam vayameva tapta. I didn't perform austerities, but I myself got tapta. That means I myself got burnt in this material world because I didn't do austerities. Kalo na yato vayameva yata. I didn't spend time. Like we hear time pass. I didn't passed my time, but time passed me. Like time or Kala was always there as it is. It was the one me who is past and destroyed in all that. Trishna na jirna vayameva jirna. So my thirst for material desires, that didn't reduce at all. Uh, Trishna na jirna, it never reduced. I got, I am emaciated. I am reduced to the old age and now close to death, but not the Trishna, the desire for this. Uh, Worldly things, worldly enjoyments. So there is, I mean, whenever we engage indiscriminately in this type of activities, there is repercussions. So he is telling her that I will satisfy your desires for begetting children, but give me some time because this is not the right time. This is the time for ghosts to wander around, and as a result of that, he further explains about Lord Shiva. And but the main point he's explaining here is the ghosts are wandering, and if you get impregnated in this circumstances, then there is a chance that some demoniac jiva, the jiva with demoniac karma will take shelter in your womb. And so related to this, see, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, I found this verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas, quoted somewhere, that Rutu Kala Bhigami ya Swadara Niratascha sa sada brahmachari vigyeya sana grihashrami. So Hari Bhakti Vilas, if you know, or Hari Bhakti Vilas is basically a compilation of various Vedic references from various Shrutis, Smritis, Puranas, Vedangas about the Vaishnav Sadachar, about the because uh, we follow Vaidhi Bhakti and our goal is to reach Raganuga Bhakti. So to establish the rules of this Vaidhi Bhakti, Sanatan Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, they compiled this Hari Bhakti Vilas. So it talks about all the aspect, all the acharas and niyamas that a Vaishnava should follow when he is in this sampradaya. So this particular verse talks about, and this is from Padma Puran, because it is Bhari Bhakti Vilas is basically compilation from various Vedic sources. So Rutu Kala Bhigami. Rutu Kal means ovulation period. So when a woman completes menstrual cycle, and she takes then Ritu Snan, it's called the bath she takes after that, and then Ritu Kal starts, the ovulation period. So those 16 days after that are considered best for impregnation, for progeny, for intercourse. And among those 16 days also you have to be careful about the timing and which day it is. It should not be Ekadashi, or it should not be some days on which we are fasting or supposed to be not engaging in these things. So following these rules and times, if you do that, then that is dharma viruddha bhuteshu, and that is also with the desire to beget a child. Then some great soul will take shelter in the womb of that mother. Especially, I have heard in many lectures that many great souls, many great devatas are waiting to take shelter in the womb of Vaishnava, Grihastha Vaishnavas, Vaishnava mothers. And it is one of the greatest service that one can render to the parampara, to the acharyas, and to the devotees. Vaishnavas is like begetting Vaishnava children, raising them since childhood in the pure environment and teaching them bhakti, and then giving them to the society uh, for the lok kalyan. Then he defined this as Sasada Brahmacharya. That kind of person, that kind of Grihastha Sana Grihashrami should be considered a Brahmachari. And uh, and it is also said that, yeah, if you once you get pregnant on one of these days, after that time, until you are breastfeeding your child, there should not be any intercourse, because that will induce sexual desire and lower tendencies in the baby in the womb or baby outside. When baby is in the womb, then that time also, and when baby is outside but he's being breastfed, that will also induce lower tendencies, tamasic and rajasic tendencies in the baby. So that should be avoided. These are but again, as told in the beginning, these are the highest standards we are talking about. We should not, one cannot fanatically follow these. Both husband and wife should rise to this consciousness slowly by practicing bhakti, by discussing with senior devotees. Yeah, but most of the things, and then sharpening your viveka, and then acting on these things like that. As you see here, even the Kashyapa is such a great rishi, but he's not denying desire of his wife. He's not just asking her to shut up. He's explaining her the situation and trying to make her behave in certain way. So I think it becomes first duty among the Grihastha couples to take care of desires of each other. And when you are at that, both of them agree. Like Vrishni and Sutapa, they perform these austerities for thousands and thousands of years, 10,000, 20,000 years together. And then Lord appeared and blessed them that I will born as your son. So this thing has to be done in very much coordination and and not making other partner miserable, and you want to force this on other. Not like that. You first let's, otherwise we can take shelter of Krishna and do whatever needed, right? So like that. So it's very important to understand how we need to act on these things. So then Lord Shiva explains about the ghosts, and yeah, and then he starts glorifying Lord Shiva. See, Lord Shiva is Jijaji of Diti, right? So Sati Mata married Lord Shiva, and Lord, yeah, Sati and Shiva, they are husband and wife, and Diti and Kashyap are husband and wife. So they are like brother-in-laws in a way also, Kashyapa and Lord Shiva. So he explains about the position his hair is, and then he glorifies Lord Shiva. So he takes here opportunity to glorify Lord Shiva. So we see next verses that his hair is dusty from the whirlwind of dust burning crematorium. His younger brother of your husband, and he sees with his three eyes. So here, in the purport, Prabhupada talks about these three eyes. So his hair is dusty, right? His form of Lord Shiva is very weird when seen from a materialistic perspective. Like he has snakes around his, he has jata, the random hairs, and then he puts this crematorium ashes of dead bodies on his body, and he is all surrounded by these bhoot pishachas, very abominable creatures. So, and then he says that uh, so Diti might have argued that okay, we can do that in seclusion, right? So then he talks about third eye. Third eye is basically the eye of Lord Shiva, which can look beyond any obstructions. Nothing is hidden from that third eye. Or that third eye is also referred to Devi Devtas and Lokpalas and Gandharvas, Surya, Chandra, Nakshatras, everything. So those are also like third eye, because all of our activities are witnessed by these witnesses of universe. So, uh, so Lord Shiva has no relatives. Yeah, yet, so Lord Shiva regards no one as his relatives, yet there is no one who is not connected to him. Lord Shiva and Parvati are like the mother and father of this universe. They take most joy when a jiva is like goes in the bhakti of Radha Krishna, Sitaram, because they are being entrusted with this material, and he takes care of most abominable creatures, most ghosts and demons, and tries to direct them to the righteous path. So yeah, we respectfully worship remnants of his foodstuff, and we vow to accept what is rejected by him. He's so pure that Lord Shiva is uh, uh, everything associated with him is pure, right? And then this verse comes that he looks like devil, but he's the purest of the personalities. He's the Gunavatar of Lord Vishnu, Sadashiva. So Sadashiva is like a Vishnu Tattva, and Lord Rudra, like Dwadasha Rudras, among them the which Lord Shiva comes, he is a demigod. So these are like two categories of Lord Shiva. But when we are talking here, the discussion is more about Sadashiva. So uh, yeah, and then so those who don't respect Lord Shiva, like Daksha, right? Daksha, uh, father of Sati, he got destroyed because he disrespected Lord Shiva. He took him for his appearance. Unfortunate, foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. They laugh at him. They consider him inferior. Such foolish person engage in maintaining the body which is edible by dogs, right? Such person, their life is so miserable that their body is so unworthy that it will be, that's only use of that body is that it will be edible by dog after death, even though it is decorated with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments. So this way he goes on glorifying Lord Shiva, and then uh, he is great, and therefore his devilish characteristics are simply imitation. His devilish characteristics are simply imitation. But yeah, he informed her all of this, but still she was pressing, uh, she was still pressing Lord Shiva uh, about fulfilling her desires. Yeah, and then here we see that he calls her like a shameless prostitute, because Maitreya is also talking in that mood. Now he's in that he's kind of in that rasa, in that mood, and then he ends up chastising Diti. So related to this one, so yeah, I'll finish in next 5 minutes, I think. So this pastime comes. This is again in Hindi. I will try to translate because I didn't had an English one. But this is in Ramcharitmanas. This comes that Yagyavalkya Rishi is talking Ram Katha to Bharadwaj Muni. So he's asking questions and he's answering. by speaking Ram Katha. But before that, he first speaks Shiv Katha. He talks about pastime, the how Sati Mata was separated from Lord Shiva, how like once upon a time, like when Lord Shiva and Sati was going from a forest, Sati sees that how Lord Ram is crying for Sita, and then she gets suspicious how this person can be supreme personality of Godhead. And then she goes and tests him. She takes form of Lord Sita, goes in front of Ram, and then Ram like just folds his hand, and Lord Ram folds hand and asks Mata Sati, why are you here? Where is your husband, Lord Shiva? So she gets like surprised, and then she comes back to Shiva. But Lord Shiva, when he comes to know about it, he vows in his mind to reject Lord Mata Sati because she took form of Jagat Janni Sita, and now he cannot accept her as his wife. And then he goes into meditation, and in this time Sati also realizes, oh, my husband has vowed this, and she is very distressed. After she comes out from meditation, then that pastime of she going to Daksha's uh, yagya and burning herself, like offering her body in the yagya because they disrespect Lord Shiva happens. And after that, Sati Mata takes birth as daughter of Himalaya, and then she becomes Parvati, and then she did tapasya thousands of years, and then Lord Shiva and Parvati gets married. So he tells all this katha, Yajnavalkya Muni, to Bharadwaj, and this Bharadwaj Rishi starts crying. सो शिव पद कमल जिनहि रति नाही राम ही ते सपने हूँ सोहाई बिनु छल विश्वनाथ पद नेहु राम भगत कर लक्षण एहु. One who has one who doesn't have attachment to lotus feet of Lord Shiva, they cannot attain Lord Ram even in dreams. Same thing is told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that those who offends Lord Shiva can never come to me. Binu chala Vishwanath padanehu Rama Bhagat kar lachana ehu. Without his mercy, we cannot get pure prem for Lord Vishnu or Lord Ram. Siva sama ko Raghupati Bratadhari. There is who is as attached to Lord Ram as Lord Shiva, Bratadhari. Binu Agataji Sati Asinari, who just gave up his most beautiful, most glorious wife Sati because she offended Lord Ram. Panukari Raghupati Bhakti Dekhai, so Siva Sama Rama hi Priyabai. And therefore there is no one else who is as dear as Lord Shiva to Lord Ram. प्रथम ही मैं कही शिव चरित बूझा मरमु तुम्हार सूचि सेवक तुम राम के रहित समस्त विकार. So that's why I first told you Charitra of Lord Shiva, and I try to understand your mind. Are you like enough surrendered to Lord Shiva? And now I understood. Suchi sevaka tum Rama ke rahita samast bikar. Uh, and now I understand, since you understand the position of Lord Shiva, then you can become, you are very glorious servant of Lord Rama as well. मैं जाना तुम्हार गुणशीला कहहु सुनहु अब रघुपति लीला सुनु मुनि आजु समागम तोरे कही न जाई जस सुखु मन मोरे. And now I have understood your mindset, and now I will narrate Ram Katha to you. And then after this, actual Ram Katha starts. So that's how this beautiful pastime occurs. So he explains position of Lord Shiva, and still Diti is, yeah, Kama is Jab, Krodha is Shai. When you are in the flow of these things, the philosophy doesn't enter your mind, and that's what Diti Mata is showing here by her example. So they end up having intercourse, and after that, the Brahmana, the Kashyap Rishi takes bath. He takes bath, and then she inquires her husband about. And now she is in repentance. Now Diti is in repentance. She asks, like, "Can you please pray that Lord Shiva doesn't destroy my womb because I transgress the commands of Vedas, right? I went against Shastras." And then Kashyap Rishi explains to her, that yeah, as a result of this, two sons will born in your womb who will be demons who will be, mm, yeah, who will be demons, and who the only job of theirs will be to trouble the Lord's devotees. Yeah, she was trembling with fear. Now she realized, she understood that he had been dissuaded for his daily duties and she didn't hurt to him. Uh, yeah, because you neglected my directions. Now the result will be they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and they will torture women, enrage great souls, and faultless living entities. That will be their job. I think we have seen that most of us have seen the Narsimha movie, right? Very nicely depicted how they harass all the Rishi Munis, Brahmanas, and and then finally, Lord will appear as Lord will take avatara to destroy these two demons. After that, Diti is happy. She she was very morose, repentant, but now she heard that okay, Lord will kill my. Here she says that, oh my husband, may they never be killed by the wrath of a Brahmana devotee. Like Brahmanas are pure Vaishnavas, and she don't want her sons to be killed because of Brahmanas curse or offending Brahmana. So, but and then she is happy that okay, Lord is gonna kill my son, and then um, Kashyapa Uvacha here. Now he understands Kashyapa that oh, she is genuinely repenting, and she is genuinely devotee of the Lord. That's why she is happy, and she is genuinely repenting also. See, like things may happen in life, but ultimately everything is auspicious if it is connected to Krishna. I think I really like the point that Jagannath Gopal Prabhu mentioned in his last class. Material and spiritual life, that we need to get to the platform where we see material and spiritual life non-different. Like Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Evam na Sacharacharam Darshavatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this is a Guru Stotra. First verse is this. Second verse is then Om Adhyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya. And then third verse is Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deva Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the Akhanda Mandalakaram, the same Tattva, the same Lord is Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. He is covering all this universe, achar and achar, everything in this world. And Darshavitam Yena. And our Guru awards us that drishti with which we can see transcendence everywhere. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaivecha Pakecha Pandita Samadarshina. That Samadarshina state will be awarded by mercy of Guru, and that's why uh, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That's why we are bowing down to Guru, we are worshipping him. And then again, he takes away our adhyana. So, like that, uh, so this Samadarshita, yeah, so ultimately it results in auspiciousness, right? Her sons were gonna killed by Lord, and then he also prophesizes the appearance of Prahlad Maharaj. Your grandson will be Prahlad Maharaj, who will be the greatest devotees of all the time in the universe, and who will inspire like innumerable souls toward pure devotion. So, and then that's how this chapter ends. And then the last verse, uh, श्रुत्वा भागवतं पौत्र ममोदत धृतिभृशं पुत्रयोश्च वदं कृष्णाद् द्वितीत्वासीन्महा मना. So Bhrisham is like intensely, she was intensely happy. Okay? Hearing her grandson would be great devotee and that her sons would be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind. She was intensely happy, even though some things didn't happen the right way, but the ultimate result was good. Krishna has Surya Sam. When there is Krishna, there is only light. So, and when it comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu doesn't discriminate at all. Like he gave pure devotion to the animals in the Jharikhanda. He gave pure devotion to the dogs of uh, the dog who was running after Shivananda Sen, who was following him, he also delivered him. So Mahaprabhu doesn't discriminate. Only question is taking shelter, understanding these things. And the way to take shelter, way to understand this, all of this is taking shelter of holy name. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So Kali Yuga is, that's the major thing. That's the most important thing. We have to learn chanting Lord's name all the time, as much as we can, whenever we can, and that will clarify everything, right? कहा कहूँ नाम बड़ाई राम न सकहि नाम गुण गाई. What can I speak about the greatness of holy name? Even Lord Ram himself cannot speak enough about it, right? Abhinnatvat nama namino. Nam and Lord's names are different. And when we take shelter of holy name, then everything will become auspicious. We will automatically follow Shastra, right? In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, we see that Chota Haridas just thought about a woman and Mahaprabhu rejected him. But for Shivananda Sen, when his wife was pregnant, he blessed her and he told her that you name him Puridas. When you have next son, you name her Puridas. Like there are these two, three incidences like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So again, dharma aviruddha bhuteshu. When we do these things under the shelter of holy name, everything becomes super auspicious. So this is this is the verse from Govinda Damodar Madhaveti Stotram of Bilva Bangal Thakur, very famous one. सुखं शयानं निलये निजेऽपि नमानि विष्णो प्रवदन्ति मर्त्यः ते निश्चितं तन्मयतां व्रजन्ति गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति. Even the ordinary mortals comfortably seated at home who chant the names of Vishnu, Govinda, Damodar, Madhava certainly attain the liberation of having a form similar to that of the Lord. Yeah, for us, for us, we will say, yeah, the devotees who do that comfortably sitting at home. Like we are not, we don't have to do anything outrageous or extreme. Just sit at home and honestly chant Lord's name, and then everything will become auspicious. So I will stop here. Thank you so much for patiently hearing, and I think I went too long without stopping. Sorry for my inability to make it more engaging, but I wanted to share these things. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now we are open for any comments, critics, questions, anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Um, this is a very, as you mentioned in the beginning itself, that this is a very mature topic. That's the term you used. And I'm glad you led this class because with your knowledge and wisdom, you led it in a very nice way. And the point that you mentioned about we should not fanatically try to follow these things, but we should take the principles out of these pastimes, and we understand how it applies in time, place, and circumstance for the individual. I think that was very important, and also how you beautifully, uh, brought so many aspects. I especially loved that verse by Bhartri Hari. So Bhartri Hari is a very, very great devotee of the Lord, and Haripashad Prabhu quotes him quite often. So I really loved that verse. Can you post it in the Life of Devotion group, Prabhu, if you don't mind?
Sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, that, and how you finally ended with chanting the holy names, and that will give us the intelligence to do the right thing. So it was very nice. So thank you very much for an amazing class, Prabhu. And I really feel this was a very realistic and grounded class. So
Thank you, Prabhu. Just shared whatever I heard, from the sources. Thank you. Looks like we can stop here.
actually, one question, Prabhu. This is
Uh-huh.
something that I have thought about, and so it's like, how do these I mean, of course, it's time, place, and circumstance, but in Kali Yuga, right? This is Kali Yuga, and the pastime that we saw was from Satya Yuga. And so I was just thinking all these, things like the time of conception and everything. How do these adversely affect? Because ultimately we want our kids to become good human beings and devotees of the Lord, right? So how does this apply in Kali Yuga? Because yeah, I mean, I don't know. To be like very honest, maybe to think of it in another way, right? Um, my parents, for example, they did not know all this, right?
Mhm.
And if I were to tell this to my mother, she would be like, "You are being too crazy about this, right? You're
Mhm.
being too crazy. Itna nahi sochna hota hai," and all that, or whatever, right? And I see so many wonderful devotees, right, whose parents may not have had the, I mean, I don't want to make assumptions here, but whose parents may not have had all this knowledge that time of conception, based on the time of conception, you the consciousness of the soul who is who goes into the womb is decided, and things like that. So then how do we, like, what matters in Kali Yuga is, I guess, my question. How do we understand it? Is it like a done deal, if
Mhm.
we, if, because we don't know, we really don't have that precision of information on one hand, and yeah. So how do we understand these lofty principles?
And Prabhuji, I had a related question,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
if you can, which is, please answer his question also, and then Jagannath Gopal Prabhu's question. And, so the Garbhodana samskar
Hmm.
Mhm.
that is done, um, the so what is um, what's the consciousness of the parents that is necessary at the time of the Garbhodana sanskar? And and how is that described? Is there like a special ceremony for it? Or how do, or is it just an understanding, or is there a formal ceremony for it? So
Mhm.
maybe you can answer his question first, and then you can take mine, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I think both questions are related, Prabhu. I'll just share my perspective and understanding on this. Yeah, certainly, I'm not expecting it to be correct or anything. So, Prabhu, this Shastra, when it comes to Shastra Maryada, I think that is Kalatit and Apaurushaya. So, whatever this rules and regulation related to timings what applicable in Satya Yuga, those are still applicable in Kali Yuga because that is Shastra. And when we say that okay, some people have very good children when they were not aware about these things, uh, there are many things involved in it, like that is your previous karma prarabdha, plus they in most of the cases they end up not doing during these times, and they did it on different time. As you see in India, I would say, like it's very natural, like I mean the lifestyle is such that people are not engaged in these activities during this time of days or festivals or whatever. uh, when it comes to this Angla Bhumi, the Western worlds, I mean, this is the life is more centered around sensual enjoyment and all, and there is no restriction of time, place, and circumstances. So, as a result, that Jiva, I mean, the Prahlad Maharaj was born to Hiranyakashipu, and we don't know how much he followed and all. So again, there is always divine intervention. Some jivas will born, but for the genuine mumukshu, for genuine sadhakas, they need to understand Shastra and try to follow it up to the best of their abilities, and rest Krishna will do, right? So that's what I think, Prabhu. Yeah. And the Garbhadan Samskar, Prabhu. So when it comes to Vaishnavas, right? Again, it's more about, so the first time when boy and girl is married, there is actually a yajna and proper vidhi puja before their first intercourse in India. I have read about it, I have heard about it, and I have seen myself. So that is the first time they do it. and it starts from Vivaha Yagya, and then that's like it's a Vedic wedding ceremony, we would say. And after that, like then it's up to the husband and wife. Especially for the Vaishnava, it's recommended to chant 64 rounds, like maintain a pure lifestyle and follow brahmacharya for certain period of time, and then you do it with the desire to have the children. Like I was hearing one of the lectures, and he was saying like you just chant or just remember Krishna, like just chant Hare Krishna while you are having intercourse also. What's wrong? Because Nama is beyond all this. So that's it's more about purity of mind and consciousness, Prabhu. When I don't think it's like you do particular puja every time that is done, but generally again it's very individual. It's as per as your viveka, your intelligence directs you. But we can try to. And that 64 rounds also, like one of very senior brahmacharis was telling me that a lot of people come to him and ask him, Prabhu, we chanted 64 round and then we are not able to do anything. Like because they are not used to chanting 64 rounds, and then that certain day, like they may fast, they chant these many rounds, and then you won't be able to engage in that activity. So either he told them, yeah, you just chant 16 round, and then they were able to do it. So I mean, we have to practice, and on other days, on Ekadashi, as we get time, chanting more rounds, and so that we are used to it, or do before or after that, something like that. So again, these are very individual and discretionary. Like we should not take it absolutely, oh, this is needs to be done, because the husband and wife should happily come together. That is also very important component of healthy and healthy and auspicious pregnancy. It should be, the process should be joyful. So yeah, a lot of things are there, Prabhu. I think there are a lot of other devotees in ISKCON who can speak more about this. I'm just sharing some summaries that I understood. Yeah.
These are very nice answers, beautiful answers, Prabhu. I just remember that funny sort of pastime in Prabhupada's life. So he was telling some grihasthas that, oh, you want to have children? Sure, you can chant 50 round or whatever. I think you mentioned 64, some say it was 50, I don't know, whatever. You chant 50 rounds before you unite and all that. And then this grihastha left, and then this one sannyasi, disciple of Prabhupada, he said, gee, so many rounds before, uniting, better not get married. And then Prabhupada says, yes, you got it. You got the point. Something like that. So there is that funny incident as well. But
Right, right.
anyway, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks
But
for
you
sharing.
you you made that very important point. I liked it that it should be it should not be done in a stressful mentality. There should
Yeah.
be it should be done joyfully, and
Right.
that actually is good for the health of the baby, as you
Yes.
mentioned. So
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's as
thank you.
important as any other part of it. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you so much, everyone, for patiently hearing. Yeah.
Haribol Prabhu, can I add a little bit about Garb Sanskar question that Krishnan Prabhu just mentioned?
Yes, Prabhu, please. Yeah.
I was listening to one of the videos and it says Garb Sanskar literally means giving sanskar when the child is in the womb. Of course, there is a ceremony that can be done before the conception as well, but literally it's just about the consciousness with which you are raising the child even when they are in the womb, because the soul is there. The soul is in the highest realization form right now because there is no body for that soul. So what are the thoughts around them? How is the environment around them? Everything that we are kind of producing as a thought, it's the food of course matters, and a lot of us are very much particular about what should we eat and all, but everything we are eating in terms of consuming with our eyes, consuming with our ears, so all that. And then that is why chanting of course is the best during this time, listening more. That is why it is said Bhagavatam, hear more from pure Vaishnavas. So those are the actual sanskar that you're giving when the child is in the womb, and that actually translates into the consciousness with which the body of the child is formed, the brain of the child develops, everything, every part of the body is developed in that way with what thought you are creating the child. That's what I heard. And yeah, it's actually that's like sanskar, giving sanskar in the womb, garb sanskar.
Right, right, Prabhu. Yeah,
Thank
amazing.
you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. I've also heard, Prabhu, that there is, and I've also attended the class of a couple at the Chopati temple, and they are Ayurvedic doctors. I think maybe the husband is an Ayurvedic doctor, or I can't remember if the wife is an Ayurvedic doctor, and then they hold classes for couples when they hope to have a child. And have you any of you heard of this and or attended any of these?
I think you are talking about Vishakha Mataji and what's the Prabhu's name? Yeah,
Dwarkadish Prabhu.
Dwarkadish Prabhu, right?
Yes, probably those. Yeah,
Yeah, I have heard about them, Prabhu, but I didn't attended myself yet. Yeah.
got it.
So,
Yeah, and I mean, just to add, so I guess, again, going back to that done deal thing, right? It's not that, okay, if the conception happens at the precise time, that does not absolve us from our responsibility to give good samskaras to the child in the womb, as Ritesh Prabhu mentioned. And it also, even after giving good samskaras to the child in the womb, that does not absolve us from giving good samskaras to the child after the child is born, giving love and care to the child after the child is born. So
right.
all that is there. So it's an ongoing process. Uh, so sometimes
Yes.
we just see it as statically, oh, wrong time conception, done, the child is no good. Or, right time conception, oh, the child will be like Prahlad Maharaj. I guess it's not like that. We can't put it in black and white like that. There is a lot of gray, and it's an ongoing process. Um, just something I don't know, speculating maybe. So sorry about that, but
No,
uh,
Prabhu, that's very perfect point because yeah, again, it's a continuous. It's your austerity, your existence needs to be pure to bring the pure child, right? So it's not a switch. Yeah, I don't think it ever works like that. So thank you for mentioning that.
And thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
okay. Thank you,
You can
dear
say Vancha.
devotees.
Thank
Yes,
you.
bro, go ahead, go ahead.
Vancha kalpatarubhishya. Can we say that?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Vancha kalpatarubhishya. Kripasidubhishya. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Anantrakoti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
His Grace Vamshidhar Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai, Jai, Hari Bol.